It's time to start treating your career like a series of experiments or prototypes. When you do this, you can diminish the level of fear and anxiety about the decisions that you make as you make career changes or try new things. And look at it as, hey, this is just an experiment. Let's try this out and see what happens. But we're going to dive deeper into this concept as we move into this video, so let's jump right in. Hey there, my name is Jeff Perry, leadership and career development expert and author of The Intentional Engineer. And the whole concept of being intentional is more of a guidepost for where we're trying to go and what we're trying to become. But that doesn't mean that every single step along the way of our career and our aspirations and our plans are going to be mapped out perfectly, which means that we need to take a concept from those of us who are engineers and technology professionals, where often we need to iterate through to designs or things that we're trying to create, right? So I think this becomes a challenge because often we think of people that especially those that we compare ourselves to, as finished products, right? But I love the concept from a book called Designing Your Work Life by Bill Burnett and Dave Evans, where they use principles of design thinking to help us design our careers. And really, one of the main concepts that I take a lot from is that our careers are really just a series of experiments and prototypes that we're trying to create as we iterate through to becoming who we want to become. And we're continually trying new things, taking on new responsibilities, and growing, and then collecting the data and seeing, okay, what works, what didn't work, what am I enjoying, how am I growing, is this skill going to be pertinent, is this something I still want to do, and all these different things along the way, right? But when we just think of them as experiments or prototypes, we don't put so much emphasis on like, oh, if I make this decision, this is going to change everything for me and I have to stay in that forever. No, you don't. It's just you're going to run an experiment, you're going to do this in a different way. And so think about this and compare this with like a great invention that you think is amazing, whether type of car or technology or something that you are just really impressed with, right? Usually what we have in our hands or what we get to utilize in some way is the final product, right? But we don't see all the changes and updates and everything behind the scenes that got them to that point. And by the way, even those products are still iterating, there's new versions, there's new releases and all sorts of things, and they keep continuing to grow and expand and fix bugs and all the other things along the way, right? So we need to do the same thing with our own lives and our careers. We're not going to have some perfect situation that's just going to fall into our hands. We need to say, hey, how can I design an experiment or prototype? So we can do the same thing. We can create prototypes of ideas, of things that we want to try, things that we want to learn as we explore and experiment in our career. So let me give you two types of prototypes that you can actually try and implement to see if you can gain some more data and grow in your career. So first is prototype conversations. So if you're exploring a different type of role or industry or something, one of the great ways is to ask someone and have a conversation with someone who has been there, done that, or is doing that right now. If you're exploring a new company, if you're exploring a role shift or a promotion or something like that, get some perspectives from people who are there, who have been there, and learn what they like, what they don't like, what are the skills and the experiences and the traits that they need to do, what does work life look like, how do they balance the different things in their life. And you can do this in a number of different areas, not just with your role or your career, but also in other areas of your life, health and fitness, family, parenting, spirituality, other things, and people who are doing things that you admire and you respect and say, what can I learn from them? So you can have these prototype conversations, ask them great questions, learn from that, which then you can take and incorporate into your own life. Second type of prototype I want to suggest is having prototype experiences. This is trying something. Now, this doesn't always mean, like in a career context, where you need to take a complete role change maybe to a different role in your company or to another company or something like that. Sometimes we can take a side responsibility, right? If we want to try out leadership and you haven't done that yet, maybe say, hey, can I supervise an intern or two and try that out? That's a great way to experiment or prototype with what some leadership responsibilities would look like, or mentoring some other people in your career. Maybe there's something outside of your responsibility or your main work that you could do in the community. Take on a leadership role there, or try a different function. Maybe you want to explore some different skills or things that you want to learn. And that doesn't always need to feed back into your career. Maybe it's just something that you are interested in. And you can just say, hey, do I enjoy this? Is this something I want to add into my life? It's totally fine. And so you just find ways to try things out, give it a little bit of time, maybe hire a coach or take a class or something like that to help you along the way, and see what you can learn. And take the data. What did you like? What did you not like? And what would you like to adjust, right? Prototyping things in your life just means that we're taking small steps that don't have to cost you a lot to implement. And so the risks are really quite limited. And if the prototype isn't successful, totally fine. Great. You learned something that you didn't know before, and that can help you as you continue forward. So I just invite you to say, what's something I want to try or explore or learn more about, and how can you design a prototype to help you answer some of the questions that you want to answer, to see if that can inform the way that you want to take your career in life as you move forward. Thanks so much for watching. I hope this concept of prototypes and experiments is helpful for you. And if you need help identifying a prototype or experiment that you want to run, I encourage you to reach out. I do this with my clients all the time, especially in the coaching world. And I'd love to help you design forward to create a life and career with more intention. And I hope to see you on the next video or hear from you, whether through email or LinkedIn or my website. And let's be in touch, and I'll see you on the next one.